of the things I think you've got a bit of a talent for is looking at a sport and then identifying specific movements or exercises, and then you go on to develop products to be able to train that. What was the first product that you did, and how did that specifically relate to how you were training people in wrestling?
The first product was the throwing dummy, the Suples throwing dummy. Now I had to categorize it because I have 5 different models of dummies, and I want people to understand what is the purpose, what's the difference between the dummy that says power, and what's the difference between the dummy that says speed, and what is the attacker, 1, 2, 3, dummies. So that's the first dummy that I developed because, like I said earlier in my conversation, I'm a throwing guy. Especially body lock, we lock our hands. You have to be able to accept the challenge, otherwise throw or be thrown. Don't go in there and lock and stay because your opponent will throw you. So we had to have dummy because you had to, in order to develop a thrower in Greco-Roman wrestling or any wrestling, and even in judo, in sambo, any throwing sport, you must do volume of repetitions. And you cannot do this with partner. Sometimes when you teach, they can do a incorrect throw and someone can get injured, even if you have a crash pad, right? So the way I can explain it, those coaches who really see that throwing will be one of their moves that they teach, they have to have throwing dummy. Now I have the power dummy, which is like twice heavier than the speed dummy. The speed dummy came later, the difference, because I made it to be light, and I replaced a big part of my warm-up going straight into the speed dummies because they're lighter and doesn't beat your body. And at the same time, you can use the time that you normally warm up, that most of the coaches give the warm-up even to the athletes. But mistake, no way. You are the coach, you should use every minute. When you talk, again, performance, you can do whatever. I just want to say what I did, but I think they make a mistake. And then they say, well, we don't practice this. Of course, you already give 30 minutes of tumbling exercises where you could have this dummy, have him do shots, have him do throws, teach the back step, teach the skills. At the same time, 1 minute, bridging exercise, specific exercises for wrestling that you need, that you still want to do the body weight exercise, but teach skills for 15 minutes. Edit for years. That's why Ivan's kids throwing. They're winning. He's not just because a lucky coach. He has a system. He knows how to use his products. So if they're looking at my products, what my advice will be as a coach, check if something can fit into your style that you're teaching, especially those wrestlers, even the jiu-jitsu people. They don't know how to condition, they just do body weight. A lot of people get mentally break, I don't do this, or they don't show up. It's a monotony. Think about it, we're not robots. That's the other big thing I did, That's how I got ahead of my other competitor coaches, because I see them, they're not doing what I do. I'm totally in charge of everything. Control. Remember, not control their lives, control your workout. So I see effectiveness. If something doesn't work, I make changes in the practice. No, I don't. They're not on the task. Stop. We're not on the task. What do you guys don't understand? We explain, they see I'm serious, I repeat it again. Once we start doing this and I get the momentum going, then your workouts are fun. I'll give you another example. When you see me sometime on my videos, sitting above these gladiator walls, the suplex walls, on the wooden walls, I sit and I watch the practice, and I blow the whistle from there and say, I can tell you now, Ivan's workout, Ivan is rocking right now. He's celebrating. He's not working. Now I see actions and I can coach them with microphone from above because they're on the task. But until I get to that point to stay there, I do a lot of work.
The Bulgarian bag, how did that come about?
It's the same example. I needed a tool to bring right on the mats, to be safe and to be able to keep my athletes on the task. What is the task? To crank them. How do you crank them? crank them with the specific exercises that are benefit my style. There's many ways how to skin the cat. You know this saying, right? I know how to suples skin the cat. I know what I want to accomplish with my technical. I know what type of endurance my athletes must have in order to perform the style that I'm coaching them, aggressive style, so they don't get out. They don't have a, oh, slippery. It's not slippery. Your grip is weak. You don't know how you train that position, you know, pummeling, whatever, you know, explosive legs. This is programming. I can talk about this with my book. This is a long discussion, but just to give people an idea how I'm working, I developed the Bulgarian Bag to benefit my style of wrestling. Until you guys connected with me and said, we like this for fitness, can you create a program? Sure, let's study these fitness people, I said. And I start traveling around the world working with people who have nothing to do with wrestling, nothing, including escape team when I came. And I study you guys, and then that's how I created programs that I know they can handle, and I know the other tools or other products don't offer these, especially the rotations, especially the, you know, the full range of motions, decelerate, accelerate, muscular endurance, heart rate, burn a lot of calories. Same time, keep them healthy and minimize the risk of injury. This is what I did. So for me, this is simple. With my equipment, I know how to do this. You tell me what purpose of training you need, and I will create exercises, training routines, and I'll give you programming so you can follow.
With the bag, what were some of the key, I suppose, movements or goals that you tried to get out of it? And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Like, so one of the parts that I noticed straight away is like your grip and forearm strength. I noticed there's a lot of kind of throwing, which simulates what you do in wrestling. So when you were thinking about that, like what would you say is some of the top things that you wanted the bag to be able to do as it relates specifically to wrestling or kind of combat sports?
Again, I developed the Bulgarian Bag training program to benefit my style.
And what?
And my style requires pulling and pushing and explosive actions with the legs. Jumps. People say, oh, they buy Bulgarian bags and squat. Don't squat with the Bulgarian bag. Jump. Get the barbell and squat. If it's heavy, correct? But I'll give you 10, 15 variations of jumping to burn your legs.
So that you can shoot.
So you can shoot, exactly.
Right.
You want to shoot, you got to jump. And now you can't only shoot with, you know, by just partner with nothing. You get resistance. It's a versatile. People use vests. Well, come on. It's too complicated. Can you imagine 30 people? I'm a group guy coach. Can you imagine 30 people flying vests all over, and then you have a pile of vests and give me all that? It's a wasting time. Get the bags. Put it on your back. Plus the weight is distributed up on your shoulders. I can grab these side handles. I can create different routines for balance and pushing down and train your lower back. I mean, again, I developed all of these training programs, Matthew, to benefit my style and I don't say these coaches who are watching this say, I don't know what style is. You don't need to know my style. What's your style, and how do you see that this back or dummy or whatever I have can benefit your style? Look for those motions, moves, techniques, conditioning, strategy. And if you see them in these tools, buy them. If you don't, if you buy bags to squat only, why? Don't buy this. Go squat with barbells. Or, you know, what I mean, this is, I think, I give a kind of good example. It's not like you must do exactly, no, if you want my results, if you like my style, then study my style. And then I give you everything. I give you the books, and you follow, and with the psychology, because that's something I charge more, right? This is different level of coaching. I can show you what I do, but you also have to follow the structure of the psychological part, the structure and control. Then they can have results close to what I have because they follow closely my plan.
One of the things I remember you telling me in the early days is that you line up your guys, and the goal is you don't put the bag down. and you don't put the bag on the floor, which and you create a number of different exercises, which in itself is quite challenging because you can maybe do a few sets, but suddenly your wrist burn out and then you want to put it down. But the program that you talked about was just keeping the bag up in the air. So talk a little bit about that, because I guess for me it seemed as though there was also, it weren't just doing an exercise, there was a big psychological part, because you were not only thinking about what you had to do, but you was also thinking, how am I going to keep this up? How am I not going to not put it down? So talk me through that part.
Yes, this is a great question, and I want to explain one of the reasons why I also had the Bulgarian bag that helped me. The Bulgarian bag helped me to create these routines for group training, to be able to challenge my athletes, so I can crank them without they even knowing I'm cranking them. How do I explain this? Okay, imagine I line up my team, 2 arms apart, 20 guys and more, 2 arms apart, tallest on the back, shortest up front, so I can see everybody with my stopwatch. I don't have assistant coaches. Maybe I do. They're welcome, but they're not too many. 1 probably, because we're poor program, right? So I should be in position where I see everybody. Now, that's not it. Next to you, Matthew, if you fight with someone, I know you're fighting for the same weight class, or you are a freshman and I have the guy in the top guy in my program, I partner you next, just to next. Say, I line you up. You stay here, you stay here. And you spin the back or whatever you do. And he doesn't let go. Would you go? If you want to beat him, would you let it go? See, I shook the jar. You guys are killing each other. I shook the jar. You see the psychology there? And that's how I cracked them. This is a small little example. So the group training was so important, but not just to have a group training for pleasure like we do in the fitness. It's fun. I never raise my voice. I never have to use too many mental skills. Yeah, how did I get these guys on? No, this is fun with foot suplex. But with these guys, you have to, because some of them maybe want to cheat, and you have to be prepared for this. They want to cheat behind it. Who knows? Some have skills, but they still like, you turn around and you drop the back. You have to be always prepared for this. So no matter what, I need that job to be done. Otherwise, this kid is talented, but if I'm not here, or I don't have a good structure, good luck. On his own, he cannot do nothing. And some athletes that I coach, they think they did it on their own. Sorry, but they're wrong. They move somewhere well, and the other coaches they don't know them. They don't know how to crank them. They don't structure. They count on their own. Whatever they want, they agree with them, and then they're not performing the same way they were with me. So I hope I was able to understand a little bit the process, how I work, specifically with these bags. This is one of the benefits, I say. The group training, amazing.